going on, guys? Lazy Tony Vapes here, back with another video. And this is actually really cool. Big shout out to Ray over at KMG Imports. A very fine gift that you have bestowed upon me, and I hope I do due diligence. This is the IPV V3 Mini. It is a squonker, if you will. If you remember squonkers, that kind of back in the day, not so far long ago, but it has a very unique take to it. So first off, what are squonkers? Well, essentially a squonker in essence has the reservoir of all the e-liquid at the bottom, and as you pull or inhale, it would suck it through a tube and it would go through the atomizer. It was just another way to vape, if you will. This brings that back, but with a twist. It actually has an auto pull, and I'll get into that in just a second. These actually come in a few different designs. This is kind of a seashell look to it. The one that I have in here looks more like a stained glass window. We'll get a shot of that in just a moment as well too. They've got a few other ones. So if you want something very unique, very different looking, this is already right up your alley. You've got a very small digital readout here, but you really don't need a lot. You have two basic profiles, but of course you can customize it. You can do regular e-liquid, but you can do salt nic as well too, and there are instructions on how to set that up. And as I mentioned, with squonkers, you had the bottle at the bottom, but one thing you had to do as a squonker, you had to actually squeeze the bottle just a little bit to press the e-liquid up the tube. This you don't have to. Again, with auto pull, it actually does it for you. And you can even hear it when you press the firing mechanism. It vibrates in the hand a little bit. It's kind of cool. So to get to the vial, you just pull it out just like this, fill the e-liquid through the hole, and just plug it back in. This is a 3.5 milliliter capacity. Like I mentioned, you can change between the two different profiles. You can change the temperature. Right now it's set to 400 Fahrenheit, and then you can also change the wattage. It's set to 35 watts right now. And what about the coil? Well, again, with squonkers, those were RDAs. They were rebuildable decks or rebuildable drippable atomizers, and you had to do the whole thing. And that was great at the time. And now we're kind of a new kind of, fandangled wave where you don't want to necessarily have to do that anymore. This whole thing is replaceable. You just toss it and get a new one. In fact, that's what's in here, the replaceable coils, which also act as your drip tip. So you just buy these, and it comes in packs of 2. If you ever lose the vial, you can buy the vial separately as well too. So they pretty much thought of everything. 1400 milliamp hour battery, so depending on how much you vape, it could last you the whole day. It charges via micro USB. You do have airflow control, just a little bit, just on and off airflow control here. And for the short amount of time that I've been vaping on this, I would say my impressions on this thing, I'm very impressed. So the question stands, would I go to this versus leaving something like this at home? Well, it's kind of hard to say. Maybe we'll check back in a little bit after I have some actual FaceTime with the IPV V3. I will say this, right out of the gate, I like the design. I like the weight. The feel of it's very nice, extremely modern. The only thing I'm concerned for myself about getting used to is the fact that the button is not on the side. It's on the larger side. So it's on a side. One might argue it's better to have it on the side because you would have less susceptibility to accidentally firing it in your pocket. But yeah, we'll circle back in a couple of weeks and see how this actually pans out. I'm gonna try this guy out. Thank you very much again, Ray. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any more questions about this, please leave that in the comment section down below. Links as always can be found in the description down below. You can follow us on Instagram and here on YouTube, Lazy Tony Vapes, and our sponsors of this show, Central Cloud Vapors. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook, Central Cloud Vapors. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Later.